Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 10 of the 2015 NFL season. And the first game I'm going to start off with is going to be the New York Jets and Buffalo Bills. I like the New York Jets at home. Yes, they have lost 4 of the last 5 to Buffalo. Buffalo has dominated them in recent time. However, this is a new Jets team. They are formidable at home, 3-1 this season. And the Buffalo Bills, they do have the number two in rushing in the NFL now at almost 142 yards per game rushing. Quarterback Tyrod Taylor, he seems to be a dual threat as far as running and throwing the ball. He was 11 of 12 last week. However, the Jets have a very good rush defense, number one run defense in the NFL. They're giving up 80.6 yards per game on the ground only, and they're +7 in turnover differential. I think this can figure in immensely in this game, and I do like the New York Jets to win this game in Rex Ryan's homecoming, so to speak. Now, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers at home over the Detroit Lions. Green Bay has not looked good. I understand that in the last 2 games. However, they came very close to at least to winning that game last week against the Carolina Panthers. I mean, they're not going to have that much trouble facing Detroit. They're 16-3 in the last 19 versus the Detroit Lions. Now, Detroit Lions now are number 9 in turnover differential, which is dead last in the NFL. They're number 31 in scoring offense. What it is, I think, is they have the quarterback. They have a very lethal combination with Matt Stafford and wide receiver Calvin Johnson. However, when you don't have many other weapons that are being productive, it's obviously been to their detriment. And I think what defenses may be doing is they're converging on Calvin Johnson, and they're not really worried about the other as far as the other players go, pretty much. And it has not really, this has not been effective for them as it has been in years past. But I do like the Green Bay Packers to win at home, and I think in this particular game they shouldn't have any problems. I think they may very well trounce Detroit in this game. Now, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win at home over the Dallas Cowboys. Tampa Bay, I know they're not that great right now. They're 7th best in rushing right now, though averaging nearly 132 yards per game on the ground. We're seeing evolution and progression of quarterback Jameis Winston. I think he will gradually get better as the season progresses. They are home, and Dallas keeps finding ways to lose. They're very versatile in that department. And -9 the turnover differential, which is tied for last. And they obviously can't win without Tony Romo, and having to go on the road this week, I don't see things getting any better for them. And Tampa Bay is an improved team, and I see them beating Dallas at home. Now, the next game here is really it's a little more intriguing than a lot of people may think, and it might be more competitive than a lot of people may think. I want to take Carolina on the road to defeat the Tennessee Titans. Now, Carolina is definitely for real. I mean, I think they're unequivocally the best team in the NFC right now, hands down. They've won 12 consecutive regular season games. They're number 1 in rushing yards per game in the league. Cam Newton has shown a lot of versatility, and Carolina's opportunistic defense is what's really helping them elevate them to this level. However, their average margin of victory this season has been about by 8 points approximately per game. In Tennessee, they got some swagger. The team may be a little bit rejuvenated after having that great win over the New Orleans Saints last week. And the Tennessee Titans right now, they're number 6 in total defense. They have a new coach. They got Marcus Mariota back at quarterback. They are at home. It is a place, however, they have not won since October of 2014, and I don't see them replicating what they did last week. However, Carolina doesn't beat many teams by many points. I think their biggest victory was like by 14 all season. So this may be a little more competitive game than a lot of people think, but I still like Carolina to win this one on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the St. Louis Rams at home to defeat the Chicago Bears. St. Louis Rams, their offense, yeah, obviously is not stellar. They're number 31 in total offense, but they're number 2 in sacks, and they have a running back by the name of Todd Gurley, who has been superlative and has been a really good surprise, I believe, for this team. And they are at home. Chicago, one of the oddly enough, they're one of the better pass defenses in the NFL right now. Running back Matt Forte may not play in this game, and I think we got to factor that in. And Jay Cutler, though, doesn't put up gaudy, stupendous numbers a lot. He's very efficient, and I think he'll keep this team in this game, but it's not going to be enough. St. Louis, I like at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints on the road to defeat the Washington Redskins. New Orleans quarterback Drew Brees is having another phenomenal season. What else is new? But the team is having trouble, obviously, stopping people. Their pass defense has really been abysmal, to say the least, right now. This team is, as far as their worst scoring defense right now in the NFL, but their offense is going to be good enough, I believe, to win this game. Drew Brees is the best completion percentage of all time. That's what an announcer had said in last week's game. Washington is 3-1 at home this season, and they seem like they have been better than in recent seasons. Their quarterback Kirk Cousins has played very well this season. He has not been bad. 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's been adequate. I see they can make this competitive, but I still like the Saints to go in there and win this game. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles at home over the Miami Dolphins. Sam Bradford was described as being more assertive at last week after that game. And he has shown where I think him and the Eagles offense are all kind of playing cohesively now. They're getting it together. They're number 2 in defensive interceptions with 12, and they're number 1 in takeaways in the NFL right now. And this is a team that has, I guess that's the resurgent Eagles. They have played well in recent weeks. And you have Miami Dolphins. Seems like these are two teams going in opposite directions. The Dolphins have come off 2 consecutive losses, have been outscored 89-24 in those 2 games, and averaging only 12 points per game in the last 2. Ryan Tannehill has played very well. He's been very adequate. But Ndamukong Suh has been a disappointment, the defensive tackle of the team. He was supposed to really do wonders for this team, and he hasn't quite played to the potential or the expectations that the Lions wanted. Right now he just has 3 sacks and only 22 tackles on the season. He's going to have to step up in this game, I believe, if they have any chance of defeating. Miami has any chance of defeating the Eagles. I like the Eagles to win this at home. Now the next game, I like the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this one at home. Wide receiver Antonio Brown. I mean, he was just a beast in last game. I think he had like 284 receiving yards. I call Pittsburgh Steelers. They're like this enigmatic team for me this year because I can't hardly ever get them right. I did predict them right last week barely, but I still got that one right finally. And anyway, Big Ben Roethlisberger is going to be out. I have factored that in, of course. However, they are playing the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are number 29 scoring offense. I don't know if Johnny Manziel, if he plays, I don't see him getting the job done and going on the road defeating the Steelers. The Steelers have played are 20-3 against the Browns in the last 23. I just don't see it happening. The Cleveland scoring defense is 27. They've allowed 27.4 points per game allowed, which is obviously deplorable to say the least. I like Pittsburgh to win this one at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens to win this one at home. The Ravens defense, no more. The team has been decimated with injuries, so that's obviously been to their detriment strongly. Linebacker Darryl Smith has 76 tackles. On Jacksonville, they have another guy with the last name Smith, Telvin Smith, 75 tackles. They're both among the league leaders in tackles. I thought was interesting, and they are playing each other. We might see a lot of tackling on both sides in this game. But Jacksonville is 8-36 in the last 44 home games. Blake Bortles is, I think, somebody. As far as Blake Bortles goes, I don't know what's going on with him, if he's playing or if it's going to be second stringer. Either way, I don't think it's going to make that much difference. And Jacksonville, I mean, this is kind of the toilet bowl game of the week. They're both these teams are 2-6, 4-12 combined. But I like Baltimore to win. Maybe a competitive game, but Baltimore I like at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders at home to defeat the Minnesota Vikings. The Oakland Raiders, to me, they've, as I've stated in previous videos, they've superseded expectations right now. I know they lost last week. They have a great defender in Charles Woodson. Quarterback David Carr has almost really surreptitiously put up some very good numbers. He has 19 touchdown passes this season, which is among the league leaders. And he's they said something on one of the games that they were taught. It was the Oakland Steelers game, that he was I believe the first Raider quarterback since 1963 to have four more touchdown passes in consecutive games. I thought that was very interesting number there. And David Carr has been exceptional for this team this season. Now Minnesota's won 6 of 7. They're tied for number 2 in scoring defense. They do have Adrian Peterson. I believe Teddy Bridgewater is going to be playing in this game. I don't know if he's 100% healthy, but obviously Minnesota, they're a little bit different on the road, like most teams, as opposed to being at home. And I do like Oakland to win in a close one. Now, the next game, I'm going to reluctantly take the New England Patriots to defeat the New York Giants. Now, the Giants have played New England well, as most of us know, in recent history. The Giants, however, they just can't seem to stop anybody. Their defense is really not played to what I felt they were capable of playing. New England is, I mean, there's not enough superlatives for this team. They did lose their running back. Lewis was, and he's obviously an integral part of this team, but you do have Tom Brady. You have the number 3 rush defense in the league, and you have a team that's putting up points at, 34.5 points per game. Number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. Gronkowski, you have too many weapons, I think, in this game. What helps the Giants is the fact they are at home and the fact they have beaten them a number of times in recent years. So they have the confidence, but I just don't think they're going to have the personnel to quite combat the Patriots. I think the Patriots are still going to be a little better on this game, and I like the Patriots to win this road game. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Denver is at home. Denver, I think last week was an aberration against the Colts. I don't see this as a harbinger of things to come. The Denver Broncos, however, their ineptitude on offense to some degree came back to haunt them. They didn't play well in the first half. It didn't seem like they even showed up to play until the second half of that game. I expect them to be consistent in both halves in this one. Denver Broncos still are number 1 in sacks, number 1 scoring defense. Peyton Manning will at least play adequately, I believe, in this game. Kansas City has lost 7 straight to Denver. Manning and the Broncos have owned this team recently. However, 6 of those 7 losses were by 13 or less, so I would expect this to be fairly close. I think 14 points is the most that Denver is going to beat them by, most likely. And I'm going to take Denver at home, though. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks to defeat Arizona. Seattle is at home. They're tied for, however, what I think, what's really astounding to me with the Seattle Seahawks is not just the fact that overall they haven't played as well as they did the last few seasons or what have you. However, they are tied for last in defensive interceptions. This is a team that has that supposedly boasts one of the better secondaries in the league. You have Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor. I know Chancellor, I believe, missed some games this season. But to have this defense, this Vona defense, to be tied for dead last in interceptions, I think 3 is the number. I just found that to really, that was a very staggering stat, to say the least. However, they are at home. They're going to be playing Arizona. Arizona, they have Chris Johnson, and they have, and with Carson Palmer and company, Larry Fitzgerald, they got a plethora of weapons on offense, and they're a very balanced team. What's interesting too is that they're number 2 in kickoff return average, so this could be pivotal in this game. Their positioning on the field, they get good field position. If their field position is a little better on average than Seattle's in this game, I do like their prospects a little bit more. But I think Seattle still wins this one in a tight one at home. And Seattle is still a very good home team, and I like them to win this game. Now, last but not least, I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals. I know, don't be flabbergasted or be in a state of shock, people. Take the Cincinnati Bengals to win at home over the Houston Texans. Cincinnati is scoring almost 29 points per game. They're third in scoring offense right now. Number 6 in total offense. Quarterback and A.J. Green make a very deadly and lethal combination, to say the least. And you have Houston. Their 2 bright spots are wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt. And really, I don't know if they have much else going for them, with exception to those 2 players. And to me, Cincinnati, they seem to be on a mission this season. I don't think they're better than the Saints. However, the Bengals can conceivably go at least 13-3 or better if they can get that first round bye. They're obviously, they automatically position themselves better than they had in some recent years, because they would automatically be in the second round. So I guess in that respect they can make progress, and I can envision and see that happening. I think the Bengals, very, very good team right now, and they're obviously, their infallibility, I mean, it speaks, as far as their record goes, speaks for itself anyway, and they just find ways to win. And I think they'll keep it going and their record will remain unblemished after this game. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for 2015 Week 10 NFL Week 10 picks. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.